Ibrahim Traoré, the young lion who defied the world. What happens when a 34-year-old soldier dares to challenge the most powerful nations on earth? When a young captain stands up and says, "No more. This is not just a story, this is a revolution. This is the rise of Ibrahim Traoré, the land of fire, Burkina Faso, West Africa, once called the land of upright people. But by 2022 it was drowning in blood. Terrorist groups burned villages. Children grew up knowing only the sound of gunfire. Farmers abandoned their fields. Foreign powers promised help, but people only saw more suffering, more corruption, and more humiliation. The people's cry was simple: save us. But no leader listened, until one young soldier decided enough was enough. The soldier with a promise. Ibrahim Traoré was not born into wealth. He grew up like millions of Burkinabe children, walking dusty roads, watching his people struggle for survival. As a soldier, he saw the front lines. His men had no bullets, no food, no support, but still, they fought. And every night he asked himself, why do we fight empty while our leaders dine full? When his comrades whispered, "Captain, we are dying for nothing," Traoré answered with a promise. One day, we will fight for ourselves. One day this land will belong to its people again. The coup that shook the world, September 2022. The world was not ready for what came next. At dawn, Traoré and his loyal men moved. The government that had failed its people fell in hours. And suddenly, the youngest leader on the planet was announced. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, 34 years old. Social media exploded. Some called him a hero, others a dangerous rebel. But in the villages of Burkina Faso, mothers wept tears of hope for the first time in years. From his very first speech, Traoré was different. He did not beg for aid. He did not bow to foreign masters. He stood tall and said, "Our land is not for sale. Our people will live with dignity. Africa must rise for Africa." These were not just words, they were fire. His speeches spread like wildfire across the continent. From Mali to Niger, from Senegal to Congo, people whispered, "The young lion has awakened." The enemies he faces. But the rise of Traoré was not welcomed by everyone. Powerful nations who had ruled Africa for decades felt threatened. Their media painted him as a dictator. Their diplomats whispered about sanctions. Their spies watched every move. Inside his own country, corrupt politicians plotted his fall. Terrorists continued their attacks, hoping to break the people's spirit. Yet each time Traoré answered with the same calm fire, "We are ready to die for our land." Are you ready to die to take? For the young generation of Africa, Traoré became more than a president. He became proof that youth can lead, youth can fight, youth can win. In schools, children now write his name with pride. On the streets, songs are sung about him. Soldiers who once felt abandoned now march with hope. Because when people see Ibrahim Traoré, they don't just see a man, they see a future. Today, Traoré is not just the leader of Burkina Faso. He is the voice of a rising Africa. An Africa tired of being controlled. An Africa tired of being divided. His story is not perfect. His path is full of danger. But whether he succeeds or falls, his name will forever remind the world, greater than Africa is no longer sleeping. So remember this. In a world where leaders sell their people for power, one young soldier stood up and said no. His name is Ibrahim Traoré, the young lion of Africa. The man who showed us that courage has no age, freedom has no price, and dignity can never be negotiated. And this story is not over. This is just the beginning.